Hey there, my name is Porsha Lauri. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And we are in this seated format because it's time once again to watch an episode of Spinning Out. If you've been on my channel for a minute, then you know that I have started a skating series on my channel where I watch shows that involve skating and I give my 2 cents on them. Also, if you've been on my channel for a minute, then you know the spiel. I used to be a figure skater. I try to look at this through the lens of someone who actually did this as a competitive sport. And so a couple weeks ago, I decided to start this show called Spinning Out on Netflix. And I came to the rude realization while editing said video that this show got canceled last year in February of 2020, and I'm only on episode 2, so I'm putting it out there. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys want me to go ahead and just finish this 1 season of this random show, or I could watch the rest of the show without you guys and then put together like a video where I wrap up kind of what happened in that season and where the show I think would have gone had it not been canceled. But let me know in the comments. If you guys want to watch me watch this, then I'll go ahead and finish out the season. It's only 8 episodes long, I believe. Since I already started it and I had said I was gonna do more, I figured I might as well at least do episode 2. A couple things that I'm gonna change about how I film it this time around, now that I've done at least one of these like live reaction type videos. I think in my previous video, something that was missing is that there weren't enough breaks in between like big things that were happening on the show. If you hadn't watched the show, you might have a really hard time following along with like what happened in that first episode. So I'm gonna try to do a little bit more pausing or recapping what I'm seeing to you guys so that it's a more clear plot line going through the episode. Second thing I wanted to point out is that in my first reaction video, I'm actually wearing a Nirvana sweater. And when I got ready for filming this video today, I didn't really think about that until I was putting on my deodorant, that I am once again wearing a Nirvana t-shirt. So this was not intentional. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm already dressed. I'm not gonna get redressed. I had a hard enough time picking out something to wear on camera that I haven't already worn, which, fun fact, I've totally worn this shirt in at least 1 to 2 other videos. So whatever, here we are now. Without any further ado, let's get into episode 2 of Spinning Out. And I'm going to attempt to not complain about how uncomfortable I am for this video, but I can't make any guarantees. If you like watching me talk about all things pop culture, TV, movies, music, what have you, do me a solid and drop a like on this video, then run over to the subscribe button, hit the bell next to it so you can be notified every time I upload. Also, if any fellow figure skaters are watching this or have watched Spinning Out, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Okay, so we woke up to her being in her car and she tossed out her skates but then ended up going back and grabbing them. I'm assuming she hasn't told her boyfriend yet that she's not gonna move to London. So she slept in her car, she didn't go home, and I think she's trying to clean herself up because I think she's gonna go to skating practice. I mentioned in the last video, and I definitely know that I will put a disclaimer before the episode actually starts, but heavy trigger warning. A lot of different mental health and ED things that we're gonna be tackling and abuse, so dangerous territory to say things like, without skating, I don't know who I am. There should be a difference between the two. Skating is what you do, not who you are. To quote Brink. Okay, so it's established. He's like, oh, ladies, man. I hate this guy. I don't remember his name. Chocolate chip pancakes. She wasn't expecting that. Usually she's probably so rough on her about what she's allowed to eat. Can you go do something with your hair? Ooh, damn. Came in hot defending her best friend. She runs. That lady does look like she could kick my ass for sure. That's fucked up. Aww. Her sister does care. She's talking about right now that her mom has hired a whole team of coaches. So I was a figure skater and I wanted to go to the Olympics. I think that's what most kids are like, their goal, because they're told that like that's the biggest thing you can do in the sport. And so yeah, I totally wanted to go to the Olympics, but I never was quite like that level. You have to go through so many hoops and hurdles to really be an Olympic contender, and I never got there. I don't want to misrepresent myself like I was this like badass big ass skater. No, I tried really hard and I skated like some upper levels, but I never was like going to the Olympics. But do know that for a lot of like the big Olympians, the big champions, they normally have a large team that helps them out. So yes, you would have someone who specializes in jumps, and they'll just look at your jumps. You'll just practice jumps with them. So that's why she's saying like her mom's gonna get her a spin coach, a jump coach, a choreographer, which is something like in ice skating that's a lot more prevalent. I think, again, because there's so much more money in that sport. For all of my routines when I was ice skating, they were all choreographed by a separate person, separate lessons, separate fees. Sometimes you had to go to a different rink just to learn your routine. To me, honestly, I think it's a money gouging thing. It's just you're told you need all these things, and the more big names that are associated with your name, the better you're gonna look in judging eyes. As much as I'd like to say all of skating is based upon talent and actual skill, it's really not. And just to show you like the opposite in roller skating, since there's obviously a lot less money in that sport, it's not as prevalent that you would go out and outsource for a choreographer. Usually your coach does everything for you. They go over your jumps, your spins, depending on whatever category you're skating, and they'll also be the person to choreograph your music. And most of the coaches I knew even cut their own music. To have like a whole team, that speaks pretty highly to how much you really are trying to get to the Olympics too. You can see the relationship between the older sister and the younger sister is quite different, because obviously the younger sister is kind of getting a lot more just handed to her, or so it feels like, whereas the older sister probably had to really deal with the mom like being diagnosed with being bipolar and having to deal with all of that. And her coach is calling her his protege, which is adding a lot of pressure. And also I mentioned in the last episode, he seems like a creep. I can't get comfortable in this chair. That's so funny. So she mentioned how her coach used to make her do 30 laps if she was late for her lesson or session or whatever. I do remember coaches doing stuff like that, like torturing us. And he's already found someone to take the other girl's place. Now, to be honest, when a guy loses a partner, it becomes like a big thing. Everybody knows about it before it even happens. Like if a girl is planning to quit, she has a skating partner, everybody knows, and everybody's trying to get in so that they can have that partner. So here's where my real world experience actually comes into play. So I did have a skating partner. We had a merging of rinks that happened. We had this influx of new skaters in our rink. And I remember my future partner, Danny, was one of those kids, and he had a skating partner at the time. And I remember that she was planning to quit at the end of like whatever season this was. And usually once a guy loses a partner, it's not immediately just chosen, like you're gonna go skate with her. There's usually like a tryout. He like auditioned with quite a few skaters, but ultimately they did decide on the two of us, and we ended up skating together for 2 seasons. But it can be like this. I remember girls being envious. I remember I had kind of like beef with a girl from a completely different skating club who also wanted to skate with my partner. This whole audition process and everyone being like super on edge about who's gonna get to skate with him, they nailed it on that. Do you own him? So if you remember in the last one, his family was asking her if she would be interested in skating with him, and she said she'd think about it, but she didn't give a direct answer. I don't know if the London move had made it the rounds through the entire rink already, but it's kind of quick that they gave up on her. But also there's so many other girls to talk to, so. Ugh, this guy sucks. But he wants to skate with her. I can see it in his eyes. I still have a bad feeling about this guy. It's different watching it when you know that like there's certain storylines that are for sure gonna be unfinished. Oh, they're not gonna Nancy Kerrigan her. Ooh. She's blaming him, but she didn't land that jump. But that jump for sure had nothing to do with him. Maybe what this girl said got into her headspace.
I'm going to attempt to not complain.
I'm not gonna complain. Nope, not doing it. Not today. Not today. I really like this guy. Marcus, I think? She still hasn't told him that she's not going to London. Hello? They are so freaking cute. Force them to kiss at some point, please. Do you think she's gonna sleep with her partner though? Because I feel like they're gonna try to force some kind of weird love triangle. I really hope they don't, because it's super cliche. Yes, partners date sometimes. Even some, I've known partners that got married, but like, it's really so rare. No big deal. Popped it again. Her favorite activity. I hate this guy. Ooh, deep cut. Of course he's a tortured soul because his dad doesn't notice how great he is as a human besides his skating abilities. Whatever. I'm rolling my eyes only because, like, this storyline, while sure, yeah, this could be happening in the background of, like, a skating situation, it's just so damn cliche and boring. Like, you could insert that storyline into any sports-related movie, TV show, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm most interested in her story and the relationship that she has with her sister and her mom. I think that is all really interesting. I just don't care about the actual point of this show, which I think is her to skate pairs with this Justin dude. I just wish I liked him just a little bit more, or liked to hate him. I just don't care for him, period. Is she actually going to talk to her boyfriend now? She should have had that conversation in person. Can't say I totally blame him for hanging up. She said she was going to go to London and Jenn just ignored him. Skating moms. Did that encourage her to make up with her daughter? Oh yeah, maybe the 10-year not talking thing kind of made her not want that. Whatever you think I did. She can't take responsibility for her actions. Harsh. This is kind of a sweet moment. Ooh, never mind. One of my favorite things in skating that was like non-competitive is we would always have like a couple shows a year that would be like fundraisers. So you like charge people at the door to come in, usually let people skate around for like a little bit, and then you do breaks where you have performances. And those were my favorite things because you could skate to whatever you want. It was way less strict and a lot more fun. Oh shit, she went to Justin's parents' house? Right on, lady. I like these two. I don't know why. Like, he's kind of a shit, but I just like her. It's kind of weird to see people picking up their phones to, like, play routines, because we all had, like, cassette tapes when I was skating. That looks like it's the actress that's actually doing this part, but I can't really tell. It kind of looks like her, so maybe she did some of that close-up shot. I can't really tell who that is. Ooh, that was pretty. This is a good routine. She was not kidding. Everyone moved. That happens sometimes too, where everyone's just kind of blown away. This routine is more for artistic impression and less about like actual content, which in ice skating is a whole separate category. So you have your category where it's really focused on jumps and spins, and a category where you're still doing jumps and spins, but it's more focused on the artistry. It was pretty. She didn't really do anything of like value, but the point was she caught everyone's attention, and that's what she was trying to showcase. Now she's feeling regret about not going to London because she didn't get exactly what she wanted when she stayed. Am I gonna get my kiss? For the love of God, please. Why? This is like Sean and Angela, the sequel. What is this? She got what she wanted. That was cute. Aww. Who's the lady in the picture? Is it her mother? Is it her daughter? Oh, another mystery for later. Nationals in 2 years. So I guess when you're in this elite of a level, which this actually makes a lot of sense, you're going to train for a lot longer than like just be able to make it within that season. Ice skating seasons and roller skating seasons are kind of similar, except ice skating more so is focused in the summertime, so that you're not really having a whole lot of competitions throughout the school year. I think there might be a few, but it's mostly in the summer. Roller skating is kind of year-round, depending on what level you skate. The regular competitions usually start in like September-ish time, October, and then your regionals and nationals will be in the summertime in like June and July. And then if you do worlds, like if you skate at a world class level, which is like, imagine like Olympic level for roller skating, worlds is usually in like November. So it's kind of an all year commitment. 2 years, I think it would take that long to really mesh with your partner. She drinks quite a bit. I wouldn't say that they're trying to showcase her as having a drinking problem, more so that she's in a lot of pain and she's trying to find a way to mask it. Yeah, it's not getting better. Oh, she locks her door now. Every ice skater I knew growing up had a bedroom like this with like 1,000 ice skating posters on it. I don't think I've ever owned a skating poster in my life. I have one from like Champions on Ice when I used to go. I don't even know if I still have that. I probably don't. Is she imagining this, or did they hook up before? I'm confused. Oh yeah, okay, so they hooked up a year ago. So there's these flashes that I probably have cut out of the entire video, but it's clearly of them hooking up, and apparently they did a year ago. They already look better together, to be honest. Similar stretches, they're similar heights. I do think they look pretty good together. She could push her hips in more, but that'll come with time. So just to wrap up, so Kat decided to stay behind, not move to London with her boyfriend, and then effectively broke up with him in the same breath. So now she decided to stay back, and she wants to actually try this whole partner thing with Justin, even though they have a history, I suppose. Justin was skating with somebody else, but she seemed to be quite of a handful, as he put it. And so that ended up not working out, and Kat was able to kind of sneak in there, and we're getting to finally see them start to begin their career together. We also find out that Kat has moved out of her mom's house due to that big explosive fight that they had in that first episode, and we see that things between them are, if I would say, just intensifying. There's a brief moment where her mom says, like, you know, this is dumb, like you should just come home, stay here, I know that's where you want to be. But when Kat's very adamant about the fact that this is what's best for her, you can see that the mom kind of takes that and is frustrated by it. Like she didn't get what she wanted immediately, so she's upset. We didn't have so much focus on Kat's younger sister, Primrose Everdeen. What was her name again? Her storyline wasn't really a main focus of this episode. There's still some weirdness going on between her and her coach, as far as I'm concerned, but I'm assuming we will see that develop more further along in the season. Her best friend, again, not so much focus on her, but we're still kind of like, we're supposed to remember in the back of our mind that she is an injured skater who probably should not be skating right now. I think mostly her motivation in this episode was to get Kat with Justin. We see that things are kind of flirtatious between Marcus and Kat, but we're still not gonna get our big dramatic kiss or whatever. I think that's gonna happen later. And then it's not until the end of the episode that's really made very clear that Kat and Justin have hooked up before a year ago, based on what she says. And so maybe that's part of the reason that she wasn't too keen on the idea of skating with him at first, because they have this kind of illustrious history. But who knows if there's other factors that go into that. We don't know why they hooked up. We just got scenes of them hooking up. So I'm hoping that they're going to explain more in the next episode. As I mentioned in the beginning, this show was canceled, and I didn't know until I was editing episode 1. So let me know down in the comments, do you want me to finish the season? Do you want to watch this watch with me? Or would you prefer if I just did a video wrapping up what happens in the rest of the season and we move on with our lives? You let me know. I'm down for either. Whatever. This has been a pretty fun show to watch. Episode 2 made me a lot more interested than episode 1, so I am intrigued to see what happens to the characters from here on out. Again, if you enjoy my opinions on all things pop culture, TV shows, movies, music, what have you, let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you drop a like on this video, then run over to that subscribe button, hit the bell next to it so you can be notified every time I upload. Follow me on all the social medias. I'll have them linked in the description below. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.